because without one I have no right. I don't get to turn in my papers. I just have to take it. Some of y'all don't understand why I have a problem with that. It's because you're stupid. My rights are violated. You pretend that no officer would ever do this. When Officer Scott Costa has the chance and opportunity to assault me, and him and State Trooper Lassen literally both assault me for trying to turn in Scott Costa. You gotta understand how much of an issue this is for me to have to go to these people's friends to turn them in. Are their friends going to do their jobs? Kind of like here and tell them, the police here are about as rotten. Now, of course, after that officer denying my rights as a human being and playing stupid, he wanted to tell me I seemed cognitive to him. Well, whether I seem cognitive to him or not does not detract from the fact that I am an at-risk and disabled adult. Now, of course, we know what the other end of that is. When we try to turn them in, what happens? We get called mentally ill. That's right. Magically, now that we're trying to turn in an officer, we're not cognitive. Huh. Oh, I seem sane to them. That was a fun one, wasn't it? Being told I seem sane to an officer. Well, that's right. That's because, well, I'm telling you what's going on, and I'm doing so clearly and concisely. I'm also not an idiot, which is one of the things that many of these idiots make the assumption to believe in. Because I'm autistic, I must be retarded. The problem is that the general public thinks the exact same thing. They think autism means retard. It does not. They are not mutually synonymous. That would be a comorbid state, by the way. That means you've got more than one thing going on at one time. Sometimes that can also take the form of addictions. Like you've got depression from being raped by your daddy growing up. And of course, you've got an addiction to heroin because that's how you try to drown it out. Or you've got an addiction to alcohol. That's how you try to drown it out. I want you women who want to keep throwing in my face how easily your predators got away. I want you to think to yourself how much more difficult it is for a man. I also want you to stop and think about all of the women who have asked you to help destroy a man's life and make his life a living hell. Think to yourself how many of them women should have gone to the police? How many of them women did you ask for proof? And how many men did you go out of your way to not even look at proof? To tell them instead that they just need to let it go, that they need to just man up. Oh, Acacia wood. Some pretty robust stuff, isn't it? Let's see. No, weak sauce. When this whole journey started, I made sure that in order to be held accountable, before Natalie died, and this video is actually still up, by the way, I admitted all of my worst sins on Facebook. All of them. That's the thing is that for over a year before Natalie was killed, through all that abuse, through going with my friends, and they tell me to do stuff that's expensive. They tell me to come see them, that they'll help me if I come see them. And then, of course, they want cigarettes. Or they're hungry, or they need help because they got kids, or, you know, always something that comes up. The fact is, I let them know what was going on. To the best of my ability, to the best of what they would allow me to tell them. And of course, if I didn't let them do what they wanted, instead, then I was a bad friend somehow. I'm trying to tell them that I'm being harmed every time I go to see people in my support network. I can't see any of my friends or family. There's very few people that I know in the one place that I can go, which is Chapel, Nebraska. There are very few faces that I know there. There are people who have not been historically good to me. I stood up for black people when I was in Chapel, Nebraska, and this might surprise you, but that was not a popular thing to do. A screwdriver. Oh, a siphon pump. Might be useful. As far as me going to see the doctors, the things that the police have done has cut me off from having my disability, from having disability money, from having access to it. Obviously, they had to incarcerate me for 30 days or longer. All of the resources that I had to help myself, they were able to cut me off from by keeping me incarcerated for 30 days or longer, while being physically and psychologically abused in all those places. For an at-risk adult to have to be in one of those places, they should be held accountable, same as everyone else, right? Except you don't hold anyone else accountable when they do it to us. You don't hold anyone else accountable. If it weren't for that, then yeah, maybe I might believe you BS. When I went to my friends and family for help, I was painted as stalking. When I reached out for help stopping it, I even sent a message to Natalie's mother. I explained to her that I was the autistic idiot who was honking like an idiot outside of her house. I never stalked them. And everything that people said, because they claim that I stalked them, that's the thing, is that it resulted in my best friend getting a bullet through her head. It resulted in me being abused by police to the point that I can barely function. been forced into homelessness. Everything that I've had is gone. They found the guy that did it, but they didn't do anything about the police who committed felonies against me. You know what that resulted in, right? You've seen the news. That resulted in literally 2 of the officers who abused me killing Dmitry Shankling. It also resulted in Waylon Lolatai, an officer with the Boulder Police Department. Well, since I wasn't heard when he did that to me, he was able to do it to 7 more people before anybody stopped him, all in 1 year, on camera, all of them. What do they do when a police officer assaults people? Oh, they let him go on to another department. How many people has that killed? Alright, last place I gotta stop before I leave here is food. I got my food stamps in finally. Could you see how impossible this is to do without breaking the law? Having they constantly move, you hardly have any money, and in order to try to get help stopping ongoing abuse. That's right, this homelessness is because of abuse. To tell the victim that it's their fault is so horrible. To even insinuate that they wanted it, needed it, chose it, or deserved it. It's horrible. Because that's one thing is about being a male, is that you don't get the benefit of the doubt. There's a reason that Jamie Curtis wanted my help and Todd Rust's help moving out when she ended up with about half her body bruised, claiming that James had beaten her up. Well, she told her son that he had pushed her down the stairs, and according to James, he had pushed her, and she had later said that he just pushed her into a bookshelf. I don't know, a lot of it's in the recordings, but then there was my abilities to do that. A lot of the people that I was going to for help, they didn't know how to do that. Meanwhile, there's literally thousands of people that are looking at that and going, hey, I think I'm going to get involved. And they did. They did get involved. And they got innocent people killed. And then, of course, the evidence, even with it blatantly on the news, it's a horrible thing. Even with it blatantly on the news. How is it really? Even with it blatantly on the news that I told the truth about these people. Still, nobody even tried to call a review. In 6 years of trying to turn these people in, these people have been allowed to retaliate against me in the worst kind of ways. This abuse has forced me to go to places that are historically horrible places for me. And also many that are historically horrible places in the United States for homeless people. It's pretty much the whole country. I mean, there's places that are nice for people to come out and feed you, but if you're abused, you're not going to care. You're not going to help you turn it in. They're going to tell you just got to let it go. But then you have to be afraid to go anywhere because those people might be there to harm you again. You're not allowed to defend yourself. more disabled you are, the less likely you are to be able to defend yourself, whether it's legal or not. My predators got away with this by doing everything they could to drag it out, prevent me from turning them in for as long as possible. Working with other jurisdictions, working with hospitals. The police officer says something, hospital writes it down as a matter of trust. They're supposed to trust the officer. The police officer knows that and gets to take advantage of that. How is that okay? I need help organized all the evidence again on the computers. I need a lot of help for this. I just really stuck with computers. Now, a lot of people want me to go places that would have been safe with them. Like, let's say when I first get to a town, I haven't gone to the hospital and haven't had any interactions with the police. If somebody helps me then and there, I might actually have help. When I have to go to the police alone and they give me the homeless retard treatment, well, then it's a lot harder. God, that hurt my toe. And you know what? That's why the proper protocol, the protocol that I'm told to follow when I'm abused, is to go to a friend or family member first. For you guys, your protocol, what you're told to do, you're told to call the police. For me, the protocol is I'm supposed to go to a friend or family member or a trusted adult and tell them what happened. That trusted adult is supposed to listen. I remember going to mandated reporters as a kid. I remember mandated reporters coming in and speaking to some of the people that were in the facilities I was in about the abuse against them. I remember that the people listened. See, they'll listen to a kid, somewhat. Kids got a lot more rights now, believe it or not. But the homeless and the disabled, they don't. Our guilt is assumed. We're assumed to be insane, right? You blow us off until we literally have to scream for help. And then you pretend we're predators because we scream for help. Oh, see, we got him to react. If you have to punch somebody in the face 20 times and threaten to kill their friends and family for 6 months in order to get them to threaten you back, and then you want to play victim? No. That's not okay. See, that's the point. A lot of people want to call me a hypocrite. You tell me the things that people have done to me are not illegal, or it's magically okay for people to do those things to me. But if I do them back, what do? Scream bloody murder. Oh, we need to kill Sean. We should string Sean up without trial. And look what ended up happening with that. They found the guy that really killed Natalie. I didn't care whose lives they destroyed or how much harm it was going to result in. Now people know there's a disabled person that they can harm whenever they want and nobody's going to listen, even if it's recorded. They already know that all of my friends, all they're going to do is argue with me and talk about themselves and tell me to let it go. Or you tell me to go to mental health or these advocacy places. And I go to these advocacy places and all they're willing to do is the housing thing. Okay, well, we can do the housing thing, but we can't do that to the exclusion of everything else. I need to be able to turn in the abuse against me. The longer it takes to turn in the abuse against me while you're fucking around with housing, the longer they have access to me. And if they have a position of power like a police officer or the police officer's receptionist, they have access to all sorts of your personal information that they can use to try to slander you and harm you and make it your word versus theirs. I recorded a lot of people telling me about their fears, about how afraid they are that these things will happen to them or their families, or that these things did happen to them and their families. I think that makes me feel good knowing that my friends and family are having their lives threatened. Some of you say, well, show us the proof. I have proof that they said it and typed it. I don't have any proof that they actually did it. I just have to believe them. That's the problem. You guys obviously don't believe them. You guys obviously believe that those quote-unquote friends are all liars. You're still busy calling me a liar, even with their words up for all to see and all to hear. Unfortunately, there is way too much to post up. If I make 1 hour worth of calls, that's a whole day worth of fucking around with my computer to try to get it posted up for y'all to hear and for y'all to see. Everything fucking hurts right now. Alright, I didn't see any of the stuff I'm specifically looking for, so I'm out. You're being abused and you go to your friends and family and they want to pawn you off onto some agency and you call them and they say it's not their job and you call another place, it's not their job. When they send you around for literally years, being harmed literally for years, when you're made a target to the public the way that I was, well, you're making it so that person is going to be abused no matter where they go. You're destroying that person's name. You're going out of your way to call them mentally ill to destroy their credibility. That's where friends and family come in. All my friends and family wanted to say it wouldn't make a difference. Here's the thing that sucks. It's not that it wouldn't make a difference, it's that they were ashamed that they didn't try. They blew me off and told me what to do instead, and it resulted in people who are dead. No, I got to see that a lot of the victims of my predators spoke out about their abuse. And they wanted me to speak up about their abuse, and I certainly did. But none of them spoke up about mine. None of them cared. How screwed up is that? Most people's help was to tell me about themselves, and tell me about their trauma. And many of them wanted to pretend like I was a bad person for telling about their trauma publicly. I was letting people know what your idea of help was. How much did you learn about my situation while you were talking about you? How much did you learn about my situation? That's the problem with having evidence, having nobody that is willing to even give you a way to send it to them, no matter what. 6 years, this is not okay. I deserve to have my story told.
Oh, I was gonna go look over there.
Every victim does. But I have to do it from horrible living conditions. And of course, when things get rough for the American public, they spend their time and money on sinning, and it makes them feel better about their own lives. Americans' favorite pastime is victimizing others, laughing at them, telling them they deserve it, trying to convince others to harm them for you if you're a woman. That's what we teach here. We teach this through action. Say one thing, do another. You get to see throughout this how many women thought that talking about themselves was help. You're going to offer to help somebody who's literally just been victimized. You can best help them by listening and by helping them to turn it in right away. When that person is an at-risk adult, when anybody has any sort of disability, you need to keep this in mind. Because somebody might play it off like they're depressed about having a disability, and therefore they are mentally ill. So they just tell people you're mentally ill because you have a physical disability. The mentally ill thing can be used to prevent anybody from being hurt. Look at Britney Spears. Is she schizophrenic or delusional? If she were, well, that would make her going to work entertain the American public, well, it would make that human trafficking. Now, given the fact that she was treated the way that she was about those situations, well, everybody involved in that, including the judge, need to be charged with human trafficking. Now, that's just Britney Spears, and she's famous, and people might listen because she's a pretty blonde-haired white girl. Cool. Maybe that'll help some precedents, but you know what? You got to speak out for her. And a lot of y'all don't like her because of her song or because of the scantily clad thing. Yeah, that's kind of one of the things that goes along with human trafficking and exploiting your own daughter. Do you ever stop to consider that?
I don't have.
For me, I have to record every attempt that I make to get help. And I have to record how I am treated when I go to those places for help. I also have to record from others how they were treated when they went to those places. And their stories. And one of the things about the services here in Tillamook, they're not for homeless people. They're for Tillamook residents. For who they decide is one of their people. All the services here are that way. Like the situation with Mr. Farnsworth. How many people has he abused over the years? How many people has he done that to just on my YouTube channel? I do have to be afraid. Because I have to deal with actual mentally ill people. I have to deal with a lot of people who are nuttier than squirrel turds. I don't hate Mr. Farnsworth. But there's a big difference between myself and people who pretend to be like me. Like Danica Garner, Roseanne Kelly. Just because you won't look doesn't mean it didn't happen. All these folks who want to tell me, oh, you're the most honest person I know, Sean. You're the smartest person I know, Sean. That's right. And when I tell you how it works and you want to treat me like I'm retarded, well, you're showing me that you're just blowing smoke up my ass. Don't blow smoke up my ass. Check the dog food aisle. There's a lady who's willing to advocate with me. It's real tough because I had a real tough time there for a few days getting her to understand what it means when I say being called mentally ill takes away all the directions. But You guys can see on my channel how when I explain to people what I've been through, what I'm still going through, and why. They don't care. They blow me off. They don't take it serious. You know, when you go to your friends and family because you've been abused, your friends and family, they actually care, don't they? You say, hey man, what happened? And then you tell them. If they're a good friend, they help you turn it in. If they're a bad friend, well, that's most of what I got. And if they're a horrible friend, they'll help your predators get away. For a lot of these people being drug addicts, and with a lot of my abusers being drug addicts, and with them being friends with those drug addicts, as you can imagine, it wasn't exactly easy. I got the recordings I needed, most of them anyway. Actually, they do. No, they don't. Never.
Welcome, valued customer. If you have a scan it now. Enter your enter the number of bags you wish to purchase. If you have coupons, press 1. Otherwise, select your system processing. Store or insert card and follow instructions. Remember to set your receipt. Remove all purchased items.
Be patient. Well, Mel, you guys don't understand how difficult it is to get resources as a man. A lot of people, and they finally make one call with me, and I get help. They say, you see how easy that was? And I said, yeah, that's the point. That's why you're supposed to go in with someone else. Dummy. I don't usually call them a dummy at that point. I'm usually a bit nicer about it.
Never mind.
can't remember what part. I wish it didn't hurt everywhere. Oh, there's my car all the way the hell over there. The problem is, with turning this evidence in, we have to have the right place to turn it into. And then we have to be able to actually turn it in, which means there has to be a way to send it to them. When they give you no way to send them evidence, and then they say they're going to investigate and get a hold you after they investigate, how the fuck are you going to do a goddamn investigation without the fucking evidence? Jesus fucking Christ. When you haven't even heard the fucking story, because you're too busy fucking talking. You hear the fucking sound of your own voice rattling around when other people are talking, don't you? Fucking stupid pieces of shit. You know who needs to be on fucking attention meds? Social workers, cops, public fucking pretenders. You treat a human being the way you treat me, and then you expect me to be happy? Jesus fucking goddamn Christ, you're on drugs. Some other idiot troll on here. Someone call themselves Vibe Killer, type in Jesus loves you. Jesus loves everybody. All right, now fuck off.